What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Don Dons? Listen, Don Dons, Don Dons, Don Dons. I'm here with another video. I'm here with another video. But listen, I need y'all to do me a huge favor. You know what that favor is? Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And y'all, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. These stories are very hard to do. They're triggering to do, but I feel like because this is something that goes on every day, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So today, Chef Don Don is here with another video, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about making sure that women get justice, making sure that their voices are heard. Okay. So we're going to get into this video. Now, this has everything to do with Mr. Carlos Lamont Jones, 23. Okay. He has been arrested for unaliving his girlfriend, who is pictured as well, named uh Shadayla. Okay, Shadayla A. Johnson. She was 23 years old as well. A life to live. She was gorgeous. I mean, beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. I every photo that I found of her was just a really, really gorgeous photo of her. And so I want to send my condolences to the family in regards to this. But we are going to talk about this briefly. We're going to kind of take a look at the arrest affidavit as well. Okay. And so we're going to go from there. All right. But please make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you bang that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. You don't want to miss nothing at all. Okay. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So make sure you bang that notification bell. All right. Let's get into my introduction and we're going to get into some things. Make sure you guys connect with me, of course, on all social media platforms. I will go ahead and display that at the end of this live. But please, please, please make sure you go find your boy. All right. Let's get into this story. All right. So first we see, we see I keep saying Mr. But honestly, he don't even deserve to be called Mr. But we have uh whew, this man right here, 23 years old, still have a life to live, right? Carlos Lamont Jones, 23. All right, 23. And then we have Miss Shayla. I'm sorry, I said that totally wrong. Excuse me. Uh Shadayla. Okay, there we go. Shadayla. I am so sorry if I am not saying her name right, but it's Shadayla A. Johnson, also 23. And so I just want to show you again these beautiful pictures from Miss Johnson. She was a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous woman. And so I hate that her life was cut short because she didn't text this man back. Y'all, she didn't text this man back, and you know what he did to her? He shot her 15 times in the back. 15 times in the back. I mean, this woman is beautiful. She did not deserve that. No, no one deserves that. And so we are going to get into this story here. I also have the affidavit, the police affidavit, that we are going to go over as well. I mean, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. So let's get into this story. But first, I do want to pay my respects and give well wishes over to the family. You have my condolences, and again, I am so 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 very sorry. All right, let's get into the first piece of this. Now, this y'all, I when I tell you, I was just like, what in the world is really going on? All right. Now, Moorebrand, Florida, um, a Brewer County man accused of unaliving his ex-girlfriend reportedly shot her 15 times because she would not return his calls or text messages, according to the arrest affidavit. Sir, you was that pressed for a text message? What is we doing? Let's get into the rest of this because I mean this is crazy. Now, Carlos Lamont Jones, 23, was arrested this week in connection to the unaliving of 23-year-old uh Shadayla Johnson. I'm sorry. Now, Marlboro police said that the shooting happened on Colbert Circle near East University Boulevard on Tuesday morning. Now, according to the affidavit, Shadayla was leaving for work when she was shot 15 times in the back outside of her home. Now, her father, Torrance Clark, told deputies he heard gunshots and saw Jones staring toward the home. When he walked outside, he said Jones was gone and he found his daughter facing down on the carport floor. Whew, this is I want to let you guys know now, full disclaimer that this is all information that we have gotten from an article that I will link below. Um Please understand that this could be a trigger warning, but I do have to talk about these particular stories. That is for sure. Now, getting into the next piece of this, it goes on to say now, Shadela and Jones had reportedly been living together until they broke up 2 weeks prior during an argument. Now, Torrance, which is uh Shadela's father. Torrance and Jones had been continuously calling and harassing. I'm sorry, Torrance said that Jones had been continuously calling and harassing uh Shadela in efforts to get back with her. The report stated that Shadela ignored his calls and text messages. Now, Jones' mother reportedly convinced him to turn himself in, and police said that he gave a full confession to shooting his ex-girlfriend because he was angry that she would not return his calls or text messages. Now, the affidavit stated that Jones brought the gun he allegedly used to kill unalive Shadela a week prior to the shooting. Y'all, I gotta stop right there. I gotta stop right there. Y'all make sure you like this video. But man, I mean, this is crazy. When I get into this next piece again, guys, fair trigger warning. When I get into this next piece, it's going to get even worse and a little bit more crazier, right? Here's why. Let's get into this next piece. Ooh. Now, when asked if he was remorseful, Jones reportedly told the police no, and said that if he had to do it again, he would unalive Shadela's Shadela and her father, actually. Shadela and her father. Now we are going to get into the affidavit because I do want to kind of see what may have led. I mean, again, we do know that she was on her way to work when he allegedly done this. Now, y'all, one thing about it, one thing I must say, one thing I must completely say, this is crazy. This is crazy. So getting into the first piece of this affidavit, I'm not sure if you guys can read this, but on December the 20th of 2022, at approximately 7:48 a.m., Marlboro police officers were dispatched to, and the address is blacked out, Colbert Circle, Marlboro, Florida, in reference to a 911 report of a gunshot victim. When officers arrived to the scene, they found the victim, Shadela Johnson, lying face down, unresponsive on the carport floor. Shadela appeared to have multiple gunshot wounds, um, concent- concentrated in the backside of her body, suggesting that she was shot as she was walking or running away from the predator. Now, paramedics transported Shadela to Holmes Regional Medical Center, where advanced life-saving efforts were administered. However, she could not be resuscitated and died as a result of the gunshot wounds. Now, the initial witness reports indicated that Shadela's boyfriend, Carlos Lamont Jones II, which is the defendant, might have perpetrated the shooting that and that a black Nissan sedan, ooh, ooh, with black wheels similar to the vehicle owned by Carlos, was observed fleeing away from the area immediately following the shooting. Now, investigative records showed that Carlos owned a black 2018 Nissan sedan with tag number blase 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 that is registered to him. Now, video evidence also showed a black Nissan sedan with black wheels, um, identically similar to Carlos's, turned westbound on University Boulevard from Colbert Circle at approximately 7:46 a.m. Additional surveillance video showed that the vehicle driving west on University Boulevard towards Babcock Street. Additionally, at approximately 8:08 a.m., Carlos's Nissan sedan was captured on a flock license plate reader traveling westbound on 192 and Interstate 95. All right. Now, in case if you are just joining us, we are talking about what happened to Miss Shadela Johnson. Unfortunately, her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, which is Carlos Lamont Jones II, unalived her because she would not answer his text messages, nor would she answer any of his phone calls. Okay, so getting into this next piece of the affidavit. Now, I know you guys are having a hard time seeing this affidavit. I am too, but I am blowing it up because I did get this from the site. I will go ahead and cite below where I got the affidavit from. Now, our detective Tom Callan was assigned as the lead investigator, and I responded to the Holmes Regional Medical Center, where I conducted a sworn audio recording interview with Shadela's father, Torrance Clark. Now, he also was certain that Torrance and Shadela resided together at the address there, and Torrance provided key information for the case. Now, according to Torrance, moments before the shooting, he was resting on his living room recliner while his daughter Shadela was getting ready to work. At approximately 7:40 a.m., Shadela exited out of the front door to make it to work at 8 a.m. And she proceeded to her vehicle to leave. A few seconds later, Torrance heard a series of gunshots, prompting him to immediately get out of the recliner and oh, I'm sorry, lost my spy. Get out the recliner and peer out of the living room, peep out of the living room window. When Torrance looked out the window, he observed the defendant, Carlos Lamont Jones II, from the chest up, standing behind Shadela's vehicle, staring in the direction of his house. Now, hold on. Torrance was able to identify Carlos because he had been dating his daughter for the past 5 months. I also showed Torrance a photograph of Carlos Lamont Jones, and he confirmed that Carlos was the same individual he observed in the driveway. Carlos was the only person in the area at the time of the shooting, and no one else was observed fleeing the scene. Carlos' vehicle was positioned behind Shadela's, blocking it in the driveway. Now, Torrance exited the front door to further investigate, at which time he noticed that Carlos and his vehicle were gone, and he discovered Shadela laying face down on the carport floor by the front of her vehicle in the pool of her own blood, in a pool of her own blood. Now, again, y'all, this is really sad, and this is Lamont, Carlos Lamont, and this was his ex-girlfriend. Now he unalived his ex-girlfriend, and what we are doing There is, I believe, uh three more parts to the affidavit, and I do want to cover the affidavit because I feel like that's where the details lie, is in the affidavit. So let's take a look at this next part. Now this next part goes on to say that Torrance informed me that Shadela and Carlos previously resided in an apartment together, but they broke up 2 weeks ago after a continuous argument. Now according to Torrance, Carlos had been continuously calling and harassing Shadela in the efforts to contact Shadela and get back with her. Now, Shadela refused to speak to Carlos and ignored his calls and texts. Now, Carlos reportedly last attempted to contact Shadela on the afternoon of December the 19th. Torrance was absolutely certain that he observed Carlos outside his home immediately following the gunshots, and he had no doubt that Carlos was the predator of the crime. I'm sorry, perpetrator of the crime. Now, in the course of the investigation, Palm Bay police notified Marlboro police that Carlos entered the lobby of their police department at approximately 11 a.m., wishing to turn himself in. Now, Palm Bay police said that when Carlos entered the lobby, he uh, spontaneously stated that he was looking at facing 35 years in prison, but he would not elaborate why. Carlos also told police that he parked his black Nissan in the parking lot of the nearby Cumberland Farms store before walking over to the police department to turn himself in. Now, Detective Jesse, and I'm not going to try to say his last name, subsequently responded to the Palm Bay Police Department and conducted a sworn video audio recorded interview with Carlos. During the interview, post Miranda interview, Carlos gave a full confession stating that he intentionally shot whew, Shadela earlier that morning. Mm, 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 in a premeditated fashion with his personal own semi-automatic pistol. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is deep. This goes deep. This goes deep. Now, if you're just joining us, we are reading the police affidavit for Mr. Carlos, who, and I keep calling him Carlos, but he honestly, in my opinion, he don't deserve no respect. So Carlos unalived his girlfriend because she did not answer his text messages and his phone calls. And child, when I asked the man if he had any remorse for what he did, he said if he do it again, he would kill her, unalive her, and her daddy. I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this man? What is really wrong with this man? All right, let's get into this part. And we got one more part after this, and then we are done. Okay. But let's get into this. Now, this piece here says, hold on, guys. Wrong part, wrong part. Here we go. This is the right part. All right. Now, this piece here says, according to Carlos, he woke up that morning in a angry state because Shadela had not been answering his phone calls or his text messages. Now, Carlos said that it was at that very moment when he decided that he was going to shoot and unalive Shadela. Carlos said that he knew Shadela had to work at 8 a.m. So he drove to her home at the address, Melbourne, just after 7:30 a.m. to confront and unalive her. Now, Carlos pulled his black Nissan sedan behind Shadela's vehicle in the driveway to block it in, and he confronted Shadela as she was exiting her front door to go to work. Carlos exchanged a few words with Shadela, and then Shadela turned away from Carlos and uh, proceeded to go back toward the house. Now, Carlos said he pointed his handgun at Shadela and shot her in the back 15 times as she was walking away from him. His estimation in the number of rounds was based on the fact that he only had 3 rounds left in the magazine following the shooting. Now, Carlos said that he arrived with a fully loaded magazine and his pistol included the magazine, held a total of 18 rounds. Now, Carlos estimated that the Shayla was around 8 feet away from him when he shot her, and she collapsed onto the carport floor in front of her vehicle after being shot. Now, weeks ago, he claimed that the gun was initially purchased for self defense, but he later used the gun to shoot Shadela. Carlos described the gun as a semi automatic 9 millimeter pistol, which he believed was possibly a Glock branded handgun, but he was not absolutely certain of the gun's make and model. Now, following the shooting, Carlos said he fled southbound on Colbert Circle in his black Nissan and turned westbound on University Boulevard. He proceeded to his apartment located at such and such in Melbourne. Now, he changed his black pants and a box of 9 millimeter ammunition in a dumpster in his apartment complex. So he threw away. I'm sorry. So Carlos said that he described the clothing he wore during the unaliving, which he described as a maroon hooded sweatshirt and black track pants, and a box of 9 millimeter ammunition in the dumpster at his apartment complex. Child, this is crazy. This is crazy. Now, this goes on to say, now following the shooting, Carlos said he fled southbound on Corbett Circle in his black Nissan and turned westbound on University Boulevard. He proceeded to his apartment located at such and such in Melbourne and changed his clothing. Carlos said that he discarded the clothing he wore during the unaliving, which he described as a maroon hooded sweatshirt and black track pants in a box of 9 millimeter ammunition. Now, after dumping the clothes, Carlos left his apartment and drove westbound on US 192 toward Interstate 95. When he entered the Interstate 95 northbound on ramp, he discarded his pistol magazine with 3 rounds of 9 millimeter ammunition out the passenger side window. Now, Carlos then traveled to the area of Nagel Drive on Rockledge and discarded his semi-automatic pistol into a storm drain. Now, Carlos marked the dump location on a map for me by placing an X on the spot and writing, "This is where the gun is at." Now, Carlos said that he received a call from his mother a few hours after the unaliving, pleading with him to surrender. So he turned himself into the police. Now, when I asked Carlos if he had any remorse, Carlos replied no. And if he said that if he could do it again, he would unalive Shadela and her father Torrance. Now, once the interview was concluded, Melbourne detectives were assigned to search the discarded evidence during their search. Now, detectives found a maroon hooded sweatshirt and black track pants inside Carlos' apartment dumpster and later found a semi automatic pistol that he said he discarded in a storm drain in Nagel Drive in Rockledge. Now, based on the above facts, statements, and physical evidence described above, your offendant Detective Tom C. developed probable cause to believe Carlos Lamont Jones II committed the crime in the violations of first degree, premeditated unaliving with a firearm. Y'all, mm, listen, y'all. This was a lot. This was a lot. So I wanted to give my condolences, send my condolences to the family, um Miss Johnson's family, and especially to her father, because of course he had to see a lot of this take place. And it's really sad to see, right? All because someone wouldn't return your messages and so forth and on. And the crazy thing about it is, the reason why I tell you guys these are triggering stories for me to do is because I unfortunately lost two sisters to domestic violence where they were, you know, shot and unalived. And it's really crazy to hear this. I mean, 15 times because someone wouldn't return your text messages or phone calls. It's really absurd, and it's really scary. So I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. But this is what I will say. To Shadayla's family and friends, I send my sincerest condolences to you all. And I would like to also say this, like, if anyone is, I mean, it just becomes a thing where we don't protect women anymore. When someone decides to move on, let them move on in peace. I promise you can make it without them. I promise you can make it without them. Like, we have to stop this, man. This is very sad. This was a beautiful, beautiful woman. Like, y'all, I keep expressing that. Like, she was super, super beautiful. So y'all, please, please, please be careful out there. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and bang that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. And I will go ahead and link all of my documents that I've received down in the description box below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.